It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Here's your host, Abby Dyer.
Everyone, and happy Friday. We have made it to the end of the week, and it's hot. Again, it's going to be hot tomorrow. It's going to be hot on Sunday. It's going to be hot next week. It's just all I have to talk about. It's going to be hot in the Ozarks. We are talking near record-breaking territory here for the next couple of days. Today, I have upper 90s for you in the Springfield area, but there could be places that make it to the triple digits today. Small storm chances in the weekend forecast, but nothing too significant. But we're going to hop right in early this morning and get to your weekend forecast. More heat in the forecast this weekend. We've been talking about a lot of those heat headlines over the last couple of days. Today, really no exception. Dangerous heat, not just today, but lasting, I think, through the weekend. We probably have the best opportunity today to either meet or potentially break some of those afternoon high temperature records. You can see the record for today up in Rolla, 100 degrees, set back in 1999. The record in Springfield, 102. I don't quite think we'll make it there. And I certainly don't think we'll be breaking any records by July 30th because the records are 108. Those records are hot all across the board there and all set back in the 1980s. So I doubt we'll see records fall on the 30th. Really, I doubt it we'll see it tomorrow either, but there are going to be some very hot days in the coming forecast. And it's not just the heat, it's the humidity. You know that this time of the year, heat index values, they're going to be well into the triple digits. We're talking anywhere from 105 to 110. Both Saturday and Sunday. So if you're spending any time outdoors this weekend, please make sure you're taking breaks in the air conditioning if you can do that. If you can't, cup of water every 20 minutes. That's kind of the standard. And we are talking about very small daily rain chances, but unfortunately, the rain chances are not going to be for everyone. And I do think that it's going to be a chance for a little rain or pop-up storm, but it's not going to be a washout type rain. We really could use some good soaking rain still in the Ozarks. We are seeing these moderate to extreme drought conditions. A lot of that up in central Missouri, but you can see even moderate drought sneaking down into the western portion of the Ozarks. All the rain that we had last week helped us out a little bit, but I have heat and humidity in the forecast that's going to be pretty persistent. Long range forecast looks hot still. The entire first week of August looks a bit above average to me. Big ridge of high pressure is going to set up and be pretty persistent. So that's not going to help us out with those drought conditions. Here's your forecast for today. It is looking very toasty. I have 98 degrees for that forecasted high temperature. Rain chance only about 10% today. I really think most stay dry in the forecast as we wrap up the week. It'll be breezy again with a southwest breeze at 15 miles an hour. Small chance for storms. I'm saying 20 to 30% chance for afternoon storms, both Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully that'll knock our temps down a little bit, but we are still upper 90s, low triple digits, well into the early part of next week. Want to mention too that it's the Ozark Empire Fair all the way through August 5th, and we are giving away a 4-pack of super passes over on aroundtheozarks.com. Make sure you head there. You can enter to win your tickets. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be hot, but they have cooling stations and they got it worked out. By this time at the fair, it's always one of the hottest weeks of the year, and you can find some ways to cool down even while enjoying summertime here in the Ozarks. All right, it is time for the Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question for the day. And it's a very exciting day on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather because I have the very first guest on the Wake Up Weather podcast to answer our Brain Twister question live. This is a man that you want to have on your trivia team. He knows a little bit about everything. Jack of all trades. He also happens to live in my home, be married to me, and I was able to convince him to wake up for a 5 a.m. brain twister question on the podcast. So please, everyone, welcome my special guest. This is my husband, Joseph, to the podcast. Good morning.
Hello, thank you for having me, and wow, thank you for the intro, that hype up job. Is this how you talk about me behind my back? This is nice.
This is it. It's just public this time.
Oh, wow. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you. This has been a really fun part of the podcast to have these brain twister questions and have people, submit their guesses online. So I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to do a little live brain twister? And I always say on the podcast, as you know, no Googling. So, disclaimer here,
Mhm.
I have not given Joseph any answers. I have not allowed him to Google. And do you solemnly swear that you have not Googled?
I swear. And I've been following this show very closely for obvious reasons, but I have not seen this question yet. So,
Oh, okay. That makes it fun.
yeah.
Well, this is a good question. I really, really like this question, and I learned a lot with this one. So I'll review it for our listeners. I gave this yesterday, but you're seeing it for the first time. So, which of these is not a real law on the US books? Do you think it is A, that in Arizona, it is illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub? B, that in Texas, you must give oral or written notice before robbing someone? C, that here in Missouri, bear wrestling is illegal? Or that D, in Tennessee, it is illegal to duel before dawn with no lantern? I will repeat that which of these is not a real law means that there are a handful that are, which is the
That
most
is
surprising.
incredible. That's the real takeaway here. Only in
Yeah.
America. Wow, that
Yeah.
is incredible. Well, I think I'll go by process of elimination. The one that jumps out to me at first as a native Missourian is C, bear wrestling being illegal. Uh, I seem to recall there being a bear or two on the Missouri state flag, so it seems like bears are on the minds of our lawmakers in this state. It seems like we should have some laws on the books to reflect that too. So I'm going to say that's a real law. That feels real. I'm going to eliminate C as a choice.
Okay. You're eliminating C.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
eliminating that.
Okay.
As far as A goes, that seems like there are good public health reasons not to have donkeys in your bathtubs. Uh, it seems so specific that it has to be real. Um,
Okay. So you're
the T,
eliminating, you've
yeah,
eliminated C and you've eliminated A, right?
correct,
Okay.
correct. And then the other two going to the south, they both seem to be rules that pertain to like Southern courtesy and hospitality, if you will.
Yes.
hmm I would say I think D is real. It seems like that is something that our friends in Tennessee would legislate. It's only fair if you're going to have a duel that both people be able to see. So you have to have a lantern. But if you're going to rob someone, you probably don't need to give notice. You probably just go ahead and do it. And that's already illegal. So we don't need another law, right? Don't need the
Double.
double law. My guess for which one is not real after all that
Okay.
is B.
You're going B.
I'm going B.
You are correct.
Hey,
You are correct.
wow.
And this is a little bit of a trick question. And I had a difficult time. Like, I found this by finding like weird laws from every state. I found a list of them. Um, However, I was, Googling around and trying to find the answer. And some people say that this is a law in Texas, but it's actually a myth, but it's rooted in a little bit of history here. So I found that in 1973, Representative James Castor tried to pass this law. He wanted, here, let me read it to you. Those planning to commit a crime in Texas would be required to provide their victims 24 hours written or verbal notice that they intended to commit this crime. And they also had to say the nature of the crime. So they would say, tomorrow I plan.
You have to do a little legal research too.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of difficult to find. So he tried to get this on the books. His reasoning here was he thought that this would like deter people from actually doing it if they had to come out and say it like, oh, that sounds ridiculous. I should not do that. But it did not pass. So it never made it. But it was proposed, which I think is kind of
Wow.
interesting.
Tomorrow
Yes.
I plan to commit crime, violate Section 476 of the Texas Penal Code against
Yeah.
you. Wow.
Yeah. But I guess that would make it easier, like when they like finally go to court and it's like, I didn't mean to do that. Yes, you did. Not only did you mean to, you provided written and verbal notice within 24 hours. So we gotcha.
Amazing.
We gotcha here. Yeah. The
Amazing.
donkey one, by the way, you said that's like a little too weird to be the right answer. I saw a lot of people in the comments saying the same thing. Like, that's just so bizarre. It's
It's so
like,
specific.
it's so specific. It
Other
is
livestock are okay in the bathtub?
Other livestock are okay. And this was actually back to the 1920s. A local dam broke, flooding a rancher's home, and the rancher's donkey had become accustomed to sleeping in the bathtub, kind of how we let the dogs on the couch.
No.
The donkey had been accustomed to sleeping in the bathtub. It filled with water and whisked him miles away. And after working to rescue the animal, the town passed a law that said, okay, no more donkeys sleeping in the bathtub, but they may stand there.
Wow.
So kind of interesting. One of those like, well, now you know. And you are right. We cannot wrestle our Missouri Bears here. That is a standing law. And us Missourians really do
Yeah.
care about our
I
Bears.
think there are other reasons to refrain from wrestling bears, but
That's a good point. That's a good point. At least we don't have to say, hey, in 24 hours, I intend to wrestle you, you bear, tomorrow. I will do
get a
that.
pretty good crowd though.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. 1-0
Want to
on your
know?
very first brain twister question. Maybe I convince you to do this again.
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it would be nice if it was a little later in the day, but you know what? If this is what it takes for you, I'll get up at 5 a.m.
Thank you very much. Well, I will bug you again when I have a funny question for you. And I will give the brain twister question for Monday morning. I'll leave you with this one to think about over the weekend. Which was used as a real unit of measurement? Do you think it was A, barleycorns, B, clams, C, orchids, or D, sea urchins? Let me know what you think over on the Around the Ozarks Facebook page. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather this morning. I am meteorologist Abby Dyer. I hope you have a great one. And if you need any weather information over the weekend, make sure you head to aroundtheozarks.com. We've got you covered there. Talk to you Monday morning.